What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing well. So one concern that I hear from some therapists about private practice is that it doesn't create enough space for folks who either can't afford an out-of-pocket rate or who don't have good enough insurance to access therapy services. I really appreciate this concern because it is very possible for therapists in private practice to slide into a money-making mindset, so much so that they cater exclusively to the few who can afford their full rate. But it doesn't have to be this way if you value making sure everyone has equal access to the same care and support. So in today's video, I offer a few ways that you can give back if you're working in private practice. Welcome to Private Practice Skills. I'm Dr. Marie Fang, psychologist in private practice. I post videos offering tools I learned the hard way about starting and growing private practice so that you don't have to. I think it's so important to reflect on our values of ensuring that we can offer care for everyone, regardless of their capacity to afford our rate in private practice. And though no one single human can help every single person, unless you develop that superpower, in which case, give me a call and let me know how you did it so I can spread the news. I also don't believe that it's true that therapists in private practice only serve wealthy people and therapists who are doing more agency work only serve people who have more difficulty accessing services. We can have a different perspective than this. But I know a lot of times it really does seem this way for a lot of people, so in order to get our brain juices flowing, here are just some examples of ways therapists in private practice can give back to the community so that everybody can have access to care. Example number one, offer a sliding scale. Now, sliding scales offer that nice flexibility where rather than just charge every single person the exact same flat rate, you have a range of rates based on financial need so that between your highest and lowest rates altogether, you end up earning the hourly rate that you want, while some folks at the lower end of your sliding scale can access therapy who otherwise maybe wouldn't have been able to afford it. Now, there are rules about what you can and can't do with your sliding scale. For example, you can't just ask potential clients, hey, how much are you willing to pay for this? I have a whole video going over all the do's and don'ts of the sliding scale, so I've linked to that in the description box below. Feel free to check that out. Now, keep in mind that the sliding scale doesn't solve this universal problem, and it's not like everyone can afford your lowest rate, because honestly, the lowest end of your sliding scale is still probably pretty pricey for the average person. But it has the win that it allows some people to access therapy who maybe otherwise wouldn't have been able to access your full rate. A different approach could be to just go ahead and charge that premium in private practice while you either donate some of your time or charge very little in order to work at an agency or a hospital or some sort of community setting where folks would not be able to afford even your lowest rate on a sliding scale. This way, you can keep charging your premium rate in private practice, do that work for, 3 or 4 days a week, and then you can also give your time 1 or 2 days a week in a setting that otherwise maybe wouldn't earn you enough to pay your bills. And this has the win-win that you don't have to have pressure on that agency or hospital setting in order to generate enough income to pay your bills because your private practice is doing that for you, but you can also give back and serve some folks who otherwise maybe wouldn't be able to see you in private practice. Example number 3 is offering some sort of free training or teaching or something of the like. This is a double win because offering free information to the public is a great marketing strategy, so it helps bring clients into your private practice. But let's say you teach a free workshop and 100 people attend that workshop and maybe one of those folks contacts you and becomes a client. Well, there's still 99 people who benefited from your free workshop, even if they weren't able to then schedule with you as their therapist. So putting out helpful information into the world can really benefit folks who otherwise might not be able to access counseling. Example number 4 of how you could give back is you could consider mentoring early career therapists. Now, the possibilities for how we can give back extend beyond simply making sure everyone who needs care has access to care on the client level, but also giving back to the next generation of therapists. And if you remember those early days when you were first starting out, then it's really difficult to pay your bills and accrue your hours at the same time. I mean, a lot of agencies don't even pay at all, or they pay less than minimum wage. I remember I made less than minimum wage for a long time as an intern. Ugh. So one option could be to sort of take an early career therapist under your wing, meet for coffee every couple weeks, not charge them for it, and just sort of mentor them along. It doesn't have to be a formal supervision kind of relationship, but that kind of support makes a huge difference when you're in your early career days, and it may not take that much effort or, energy on your part. Or another way to give back in this sense could be to just take on a pre-licensed intern, and rather than taking as big of a cut as you possibly can in order to maximize profits, you maybe arrange the payments so that they get as much of a cut of their rate as they possibly can while you can still afford having them in your practice. So this way they can, pay their bills, and they're not there to, bring in massive profits for you, but you're just giving back. Example number 5 of how you could give back is you could consider offering free or affordable resources for the community. So this could be as simple as, blogging about your areas of expertise on your private practice website. Maybe folks who can't afford therapy could still glean from your expertise that way. Or maybe you create some sort of product, like it's a course or a book, something like that, where you might have to spend a bit of work up front creating that product, but once it's made, you don't have to spend endless amounts of time continuously working on it. And so it's easy to share that either at a very affordable rate, or even if you typically charge a premium for it, you might have a way of assessing folks' financial need and maybe sometimes giving it away for free or for very cheap for folks to access that resource as well. This one's a great win because it doesn't involve trading time for money. Like I said, once you have it set up, you don't have to spend more time on it, and so it's a lot easier to feel comfortable kind of giving it away. Keep in mind that these are just a few examples to kind of get your juices flowing on this one, so feel free to get creative, think outside of the box, and most importantly, choose something that you love. And it doesn't even have to be therapy related if that's not what you want to do. You could be, tutoring kids after school or whatever it is that you love. The reason why it needs to be something that you love is because if you're giving of yourself at a discount or for free, then you will burn out really quickly if you are not absolutely passionate about what you're doing. And to that point, pick a lane and stick to it. If you try to bite off more than you can chew and do a little bit of all the things here and there, not only is that not sustainable financially, because eventually you're just giving away all of your time, but also you're going to burn out really quickly. And the idea here is that you want to be able to sustain this long term. So pick something you love, pick one lane, and stick to it. If all of us did that, then we could all make a really big difference in giving back. Well, if you have been avoiding private practice for fear that you wouldn't be able to serve the folks who maybe can't afford to see you in private practice, I hope this really helps shift your perspective. From my perspective, if anything, private practice really opens up a lot of doors for how we can spend our time serving more folks because it has a higher income potential. We could do private practice maybe part-time, still earn enough money to cover our expenses, and then have time available in order to give of ourselves elsewhere where it may be needed. So, a little food for thought for you. And before we close today, thank you to TherapyNotes.com for sponsoring this video. If you didn't catch the memo yet, TherapyNotes not only covers all of your practice needs like scheduling, notes, and billing, but they also have a HIPAA-secure telehealth platform that they're offering for free to all of their platform users. So if you're signed up for TherapyNotes to do all your notes and billing and such, you get access to their telehealth platform completely for free, which is awesome. Now, if you want to check out TherapyNotes without having any sort of commitment, you can get 2 months to try TherapyNotes for free just by clicking the link in the description of this video. Well, thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments what sorts of ideas you have for ways we can give back as therapists while we're working in private practice. And until next time, from one therapist to another, I wish you well.